Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and in this episode of The Hypnotist, you'll be listening to a hypnosis session created for a client that had an anticipatory fear of very loud noises, and in particular fire alarms. And the fear was based on this idea that they needed to get away, but that presupposition was leading to a belief that somehow they couldn't handle the loud noise of fire alarms. Their belief was different from most other people's belief, which is that fire alarms are annoying, disruptive, uncomfortable even, but tolerable. And quite often, beliefs create the emotions linked to the belief. So if you believe that you have to avoid something, it implies there is some kind of threat or danger, which activates the sympathetic nervous system as if that was true. When you hold an opposing belief, and that belief is that I don't like them, but I can handle them, and I can deal with this, and I can cope, then the sympathetic nervous system is never activated, because you're making the evaluation that to some extent you're in control of what's happening. And the convincer strategy in psychology is where by doing the thing you think you couldn't do, you can't hold the belief that you can't then do it because you've got contradictory evidence. And when that convincer strategy is implemented, it very much is the nail in the coffin for most severe anxieties and particularly anticipatory fear. This session has about a 2-minute music intro just to kind of lead to a state of relaxation before the words start. So if you're wondering why the music's longer, it just is in this particular case. And if you're struggling with any kind of anticipatory fear or severe phobias, or perhaps a fear of loud noises, there will be a link in the show notes where you can schedule a free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow any feelings of stress or tension, any worries or anxiety, to feel like it's leaving your body in your outward breath. Breathing in a feeling of calm and relaxation, and exhaling that tension, so much so that breath by breath, you're able to feel more and more relaxed. And the more relaxed you feel, the more you are able to feel confident, calm, and a wonderful feeling of courage. I want you to think back to a time in the maybe recent past, the last few years, where you did something that was difficult, perhaps even scary, but you did it anyway. And because you did it anyway, the fears of doing that thing again became less and less until there was no fear at all. And I want you to imagine going back in time, seeing that version of you at the point where you were feeling courageous, brave, determined, a version of you that had a bring it on attitude that even if it wasn't easy, you were going to do it anyway. Observe how you looked, how you were breathing, your facial expressions, and start to mimic each of those. Breathe the way you were breathing back then. Make your body language similar, facial expressions similar, as you start to imagine what it would feel like to be filled with an intense feeling of courage. And when you can see yourself with that courage, step into that version of you. Feel that wonderful feeling of courage, determination. Breathe the way you were breathing, feel the way you were feeling, and start to notice where in your body you feel that courage. Activate that courage. And when you activate the courage to the highest level, I want you to clench your left fist tightly, feeling that this not only harnesses the courage, but brings it back whenever you need it. You're capturing the courage to deploy it later. And you only need to clench your fist for 2 seconds, maybe 3, and then have a phrase perhaps that would link to a courageous feeling. Maybe something as simple as, I've got this, I can do this. Or maybe, bring it on. And if you say those words at the same time that you clench that fist while remembering what it felt like to feel courageous, you open up a portal to courage, meaning that you can feel this courage whenever you need it. And then imagine going forwards in time and seeing yourself as if you're someone else, perhaps in a meeting room, perhaps somewhere else, in a location where you know that in the near future a fire alarm will go off. I want you to observe that something seems different, because that version of you in that future location seems to look relaxed, seems to look determined, seems to look unfazed. No checking watches, no looking at clocks, just carrying on doing whatever you're doing. And then I want you to imagine that a fire alarm does go off. And at the point where the fire alarm goes off, I want you to see that that version of you smiles, almost like it's a reminder that something used to bother them in the past no longer does. There is a sense of celebration of victory, or just a reminder they are now in control. When you see that version of you fully able to handle that situation, imagine stepping into that version of you in the very room where a fire alarm will go off. Rewind time, and then in the first person perspective, just imagine clenching your fist just for a second or two, and maybe do it in reality and say to yourself, I've got this. Bring it on. I can handle this. And say it to yourself in a tonality of absolute conviction as you relax that clenched fist. Imagine being in the very situation where a fire alarm will go off, even if you don't know exactly when. Listen to your inner dialogue that either says nothing at all, and if it does say something, it says, no issue, I can handle this. Knowing that each and every time you do handle it, it breaks the chains of anxiety that have been haunting you perhaps for many years. Doing the thing is evidence that you can do the thing. No need to avoid, no need to overthink. The only thinking necessary is, I can do this. So imagine being in that room. And imagine before you know it, the alarm goes off. And then imagine smiling at the very point where the alarm goes off. Because you know, you've faced a demon. You've done the thing that you thought you couldn't do at one point in your life. And you get this incredible feeling that if you can do this, then perhaps what else can you do? I want you to imagine going forwards in time 1 year and thinking it's been a whole year since you've got over this fear of loud noises and fire alarms and the anticipation of those loud noises. And imagine going back in time to before, all the way before you got over that fear, with a sense of perspective. There was a time that you were afraid of this, and now you don't feel that way anymore. And then take that version of you that's been free of this fear for a whole year, and imagine going to a new job in a room where you know there's going to be a fire alarm. And on that morning, feel a surge of excitement at the prospect of facing fire alarms, seeing each occurrence as a challenge you are eager and prepared to meet. And when you actually hear a fire alarm, let a deep sense of confidence wash over you, knowing you have the strength and capability to handle it with ease. Imagine transforming your fear into a source of power, using the energy of the alarm to reinforce your courage and determination. Find it within you to embrace the unpredictability, that the lack of knowledge of when the fire alarm comes is actually a path to resilience. Each unexpected test making you more stronger and adaptable. See every exposure to fire alarms as an empowering experience, building your confidence and proving to yourself that you can handle it again and again. Visualize each encounter with a fire alarm or any other loud noise as a nail in the coffin of your phobia, permanently sealing away your fear. There is an anticipation of victory. Look forward to the sound of fire alarms with anticipation, ready to celebrate your victory over fear each time it rings. And maybe that discreet victory sign is just a smile, knowing that you've handled it. Feel a bubble of calm surrounding you amidst the noise of the alarm, almost like there is a bubble that insulates you from the loud noise, even if it's imaginary, giving you a sense that you can handle it. With each fire alarm, sense your mastery over fear growing, a testament to your strength and willpower. You are safe and secure. The fire alarm cannot harm you. And you can understand that fire alarms are there for protection. And you can allow this knowledge to ease your mind. Feel that this journey is unlocking a growth mindset, viewing your journey through fear as a path to personal development and self-improvement. That if you can get through this, you can get through anything. As you start to cultivate a ready for anything attitude, approaching life with a sense of adventure and openness, including the experience of fire alarms and other loud noises. You shift your perspective, seeing fire alarms not as threats but as challenges that you are fully equipped to meet and conquer. There is a weird excitement, almost joy in the process of overcoming your fear. Each successful encounter, a step towards freedom. Because you can recognize that you have ultimate control over your reactions, choosing to respond to fire alarms with strength, poise, and a positive attitude. And with all of that knowledge of the future combined into the present, imagine going through it one more time. There in a meeting room, nobody knows that you have this fear. And in fact, you don't anymore. The fear has been changed to a positive anticipation, a bring it on attitude, a quick clench of your left fist with the idea that I've got this, and indeed you have. Within minutes, the fire alarm goes off, and you have a sense of calmness, serenity, tranquility, a quick smile, celebrating the fact that yet again you've got through this. Imagining that nail in the coffin being hammered down, the end of your phobia. Feel that you're returning to the present with a sense of calm, positive anticipation. Feeling that you have unlocked the tools to give you a feeling that this game is now winnable. Looking forward to the convincer that if you can do this particular thing, it is evidence that your fear is gone. So breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, connect fully with the present moment. As now I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you, you will awaken feeling resourceful, confident, full of positive anticipation, knowing that there is just days or weeks until your phobia is gone for good. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.